Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our 8th annual LiftMaster Educational Seminar. We're glad you guys were able to take time out of your busy day to come and see us today. My name is Matt McAleer, CEO here at Service Spring Corporation. The reason why we put on events like this each and every year for you guys is so that we can continue to work hard to earn your business by continuing to provide you guys with some of the highest levels of customer service and support that the industry has to offer. Each and every year we put this on, and we know we get a good turnout and many people that are able to see us online live. And so we thank you for that. And we know that all of us walk away from this with a lot of tangible examples on what we can do to make our businesses a little bit better by the end of some of these presentations. So real quickly today, I just wanted to go over a couple different things here before we get started with the presentations. First off, I just wanted to let you guys know that we are going to be streaming this live and recording this online. For those of you that weren't able to make it out today, or if you wanted to share this with your team later, you'll be able to do that after both of the presentations and kind of share that with them. And also, for those of you that are online, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask that throughout the presentations. We have one of our sales team members standing by to answer some of your questions. If he does not know the answer, at the end of each presentation, we'll have time for a quick Q&A that you guys will be able to ask questions at that point. All that we ask is that you put your first name and business so that we can better assist you in your questions. Well, I'm sure you guys are excited to get started, so before we dive in, I just real quickly wanted to announce both of our presenters here today and the topics that they're going to be going over. Our first presenter is Kevin Worazek, and he is Commercial Sales Specialist at LiftMaster. And Kevin's going to be talking about using MyQ for planned maintenance for business today. Following Kevin's presentation, we have Chris Stob, who is North American Sales Manager for Residential Access Systems, and he's going to show us how to better utilize MyQ and additional technologies for that sales add-on win. And so I'm sure you guys are excited to get started, so without any further ado, if you guys could help me in welcoming Kevin Worazek, Commercial Sales Specialist.
Hello, I'm Kevin Worazek, and I'm a Commercial Sales Specialist for LiftMaster. I cover the eastern half of the U.S. and Canada. My counterpart, Patrick Smith, has the western half of Canada and the U.S. We are going over MyCue Business. So if you're familiar with MyCue in general, we're going to be taking it up a notch. We're going to make MyCue for business. So we're going to look at the new software platform available for all of our dealers across the U.S. So the first thing I want to note about MyCue Business is that it is a little different than our regular MyCue. MyCue on the residential side is an app right now, and MyCue Business is web-based. So as you can see, I'm logging into our web page. You can do that on any browser we have available. And then I'm going to select in our commercial sales demo. So we're going to be going through MyCue Business today. The first thing that we want to see when we open this up is going to be a dashboard and overview of the entire facility. So right now, what we can see is all of the connected items to MyCue Business. Right now, we have one gate operator at our commercial sales demo facility, and we have 6 door operators. So really quickly, what we can see is which doors are available and gates are available, as well as which ones are open, which are offline, and which are closed. So if you look at the doors on the bottom, we can see that we have 4 that are green, saying that those are open. 1 is offline, and we've got 1 door closed. If you were to select any of these doors, you can actually see the details about the door, and we have the ability to open and close the door remotely. Selecting details is going to give us all the information about that dock and that door specifically. So right now what we're looking at is we can tell you when a truck is pulling into a position, when the trailer is locked, what time the door is open, a leveler is engaged, and then we can do it in the reverse as well. So the leveler is closed, then we close the door, we unlock a trailer, and the truck is actually departed. So with MyCue Business, now we can see everything that's going on around the dock, and not just what's going on with that door. We also have the ability to open and close doors. So these are all just sitting on racks at the LiftMaster headquarters in Oak Brook, so not actually opening or closing any doors in any facility. But anytime we do close a door, my recommendation is always have a pair of eyes on that door. If you want to shoot over to a camera, take a quick look, make sure that nobody's messed around in that space, you can go ahead and close those doors. So as you can see, we've got a downward arrow. These doors both just close, it closes them automatically. We also have the ability to go into a facility layout. So what we have available here is any type of image that an end user has, we can drop this right in and we can actually put all of our doors and gate operators on here to show where they are in the facility. If we pop out the map legend, we can see any doors that are in motion are going to be a triangle. Anything that's stopped between our open and closed limit is going to have a stop sign. Any open doors will be green, closed doors will be a gray square, and then gate operators are green and gray circles based on if they're open and closed as well. So again, I can shoot over and see all these doors. 3 of them are closed. If I hover over the door, it will actually tell us what the door name is, what position it's in, and how long it's been in that position for. Next on our list, we have our pop-out navigation bar. That was dashboard. Next thing we're going to go over is activity. So we are actually tracking activity in 2 ways. The first way is with the hardware, and the second way is with the software. Anytime someone opens and closes a door, it is going to be automatically time-stamped right here. This is going to be by day, so we can go back to any day that the doors are connected. We can search specifically by door name, and then what you can do is pull up every time that door was open or closed on that day. We have a spot here for credentials, so if any of our end users are using our passport remotes, if they're using weekend cards or PIN numbers to get in, we can actually see who is opening and closing that door as well. The other way that we're tracking activity is through journals. So anytime someone comes in and does an action on the software, it's recorded for responsibility level. I can see that I came in here and I actually did an action on those 2 doors. These are the doors that I just opened. We're also logging anybody else, so Luke Kronbach was doing some action on doors earlier as well. If anybody comes in and adds a new user, that is going to be saved in this position. Or the other thing that we note is anytime we are adding device management. So that is actually our next tab. And what we have here is just a list of all of the doors and everything that's at that facility. What's really nice though is if we select any of these doors, it'll be all of the device attributes at that position. So what's the name of that door? This one's drive up door. What is the operator model number? This is a T501L5. We can note what type of door it is, what size, who the manufacturer is, and what the actual door model is. Below that, we are going to be a little more information about how that door is set up. So this is a vertical lift. We are estimating up to 25 cycles per day. This is an insulated door. It's not wind loaded. And then we have an option down here to put in our spring size. So now what we can do is service our end users a little bit faster. Somebody calls in and says, hey, we have a broken spring on this door at this facility. Someone says we hit this door. We can look online. We can see exactly what springs we need to replace or what door panels we need to take out. We might be able to reduce a service call, and we're going to be able to respond to our end users a little bit quickly. So by doing this, again, it's going to be an increased response time, and we're actually going to save them money in the long term because they're going to reduce 1 or 2 service calls without having to have somebody come out and see what's going on at that door. Next, what we have is notifications. So we are sending email notifications to anyone in the software. What we can do is put in a name for that notification. We're going to add anybody that's in the software, right? So we can send an email to Jeff. We can do that on any connected device. So I want to say, hey, Jeff, you're going to get an email anytime something happens with the drive-up door or ramp door 2. And we got a couple options here. So we can do anytime a door or gate opens or closes, and then we have the ability to know as soon as that happens or for longer than. So we're going to say anytime a door opens, as soon as it happens, and we're going to put it on a schedule because we don't need Jeff to get an email every time a door opens and closes. Instead, what we're going to do is say, hey, anytime that door opens or closes between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, we're going to get an email, or anytime on Saturday and Sunday because my facility should be closed. Now we can get an email notification as soon as that door opens or closes. The other option we have is for longer than. So if we are in any type of warehousing facility, distribution center, we can ask them, hey, how long does it take you guys to normally open or, load or unload a truck? Well, maybe they tell us that their target time is 45 minutes. So at 50 minutes, we are going to do an email notification, and we're not going to do it again at all days and times, but this time we are going to go when Jeff's working. So we're going to go from 8 till 5, Monday through Friday. So now Jeff, the floor supervisor, is going to know anytime that door is open 5 minutes longer than their target time. So what does this do for our end users? We're going to do a couple of things. Number one, we're going to increase and we're going to push productivity within the warehouse. If we can help them turn trucks, if we can help them get trucks out of positions, it's going to make them much more productive in the facility. And any of our customers that are temperature controlled, we are also going to start saving them energy. So closing doors sooner is going to help regulate temperatures within facilities. By regulating temperatures within a facility, we are going to actually save them money on their heating or cooling bills throughout the year. So one of our customers that's beta testing this for us right now in the Boston area, they actually set up a program just like this. They put an email notification for everybody that works on the floor between 8 and 5. Anytime the door is open for longer than an hour, they all get an email notification. They told us that their employees were so annoyed with how many emails they got that within 1 week, they reduced the notifications by half. So they started closing doors within 1 hour at the facility in just under a week. And they told us that they're actually seeing energy savings results based on that over the winter time in Boston. Next, what we have is people. So people is going to be a list of everyone in the software. Basically what this is going to do is show you everybody that has the access or the ability to log into MyCue Business. One of the main differences with MyCue Business versus MyCue is that on the MyCue side, we have one primary user and up to 3 secondary users. MyCue Business, we can actually add as many people as we want to, and we can give credentials for everybody logging in, so everybody can log in with their own unique email address and password. One of the things to note on here is that we can assign different roles to each of the people in the software. So right now we've got a lot set up as facility owners and managers. And the other thing to note is we can actually activate or suspend accounts at any time. So let's say we had somebody who's going on a leave for a couple weeks for vacation or something, we can actually suspend their account so they don't have the ability to log in and open and close doors, as opposed to deleting them out for a period of time. Next we have groups. Basically what we're doing is we're putting people into groups, and we put groups onto schedules. So this is going to say, okay, who is using what doors or gates, and when can those people use those doors or gates open and close? So we might have somebody that is working 8 to 5, right? That's going to be the first shift. We're going to put them into the group called first shift, and they can only open the doors from 8 till 5, so they can't actually be opening and closing doors from their house after their work time. Next is roles. So we have set up 5 roles, and a couple of them here are for facility and some are for the dealers as well. So in roles, this is going to basically be everything that you can do with the software. And it's going to say, do you have the ability to edit, display only, or you actually have no access to that part of MyCue Business. So within the roles, we can set up exactly how we want end users to be using the software, and we can restrict their privileges from here. So for one example, let's say we have somebody sitting in a logistics office. They only need to have the ability to check out which doors are open, which ones are closed, and have trucks in there. We might not want them to have a list of all the users in the software, so maybe we would give them no access to the users here. Another example is we do have positions here for dealers. So my recommendation whenever talking to an end user is we always leave the dealers on the software so they can go in and check out the reporting, they can see where the doors are in the facility, they can see device management. Well, it might not be important for them to know all of the users or when people can open and close doors. They might not need to be able to see access groups. So we can go in here and we can actually make those changes for the dealer techs or whoever the dealer is on that. And finally, the last thing, and what we really want to cover today, is reporting. So we talked about how we're going to use MyCue Business for planned maintenance within a facility. What we can do is run reports over any number of doors over any period of time. So right now what we have is 5 reports. We've got activity overview, we've got a device overview, detailed cycle data, dock utilization, and we have an hourly overview. So we're going to go through all of those right now. The first one we're looking at is an activity overview. So top left, what we are showing here is all the filters. Right now we are running a daily report. We are going to do it over a period of time as opposed to a date range. It's set up for the last 30 days, but we can select anything we want. So if we were to click on date range, it would let us actually select a certain period of time. So right now it's running all the way from 325 until today. So I'm going to go back to period. We can take out any work days, so we can look specifically at the days of the week as opposed to weekends. We can look at all work hours, all zones, and we can look at all devices. I need to switch this to the last 30 days. It should be popping up all of the info for the last 30, but it's not going to do that. So let's move this forward here a little bit, and we're going to look at it this way instead. So on the top, we're going to look at total cycle count. So over the last 30 days, we have had 7 doors. They have done a total of 213 cycles. On average per day, they're doing just under 8 cycles, about 7.89. And then per the days that they actually were using the doors, they were really doing about 5 cycles per day. What we're looking at in the top right is going to be the cumulative open time that the doors have been open for, along with your average cycle time and your median cycle time. So what is this telling us? Average cycle time is saying that on average, the doors are open for about 5 hours at a time. Now, these doors are a little bit different than we're going to see in an actual dock because they are just sitting on a shelf. There's not actually a door attached to it. There's not a position that they're loading or unloading, so the data is a little bit different. What we're seeing is that when they're cycling those doors, they're really only opening and closing them for about 5 minutes at a time. Some of the doors are left open so long that it skews our average open time to about 5 hours. We're also seeing that the doors are closed just about 75% of the time, and we are running 7 doors on this report. Our middle section here is going to show us a breakdown per day. So the bar graph is showing us how many cycles we did on a specific day, and the line graph is going to show us the cumulative open hours during that day. So what we want to see is that the bar graph might be high, but we always want to see the line graph below the bar graph. And that's going to tell us that while we might have ran a lot of cycles that day in the facility, we're not actually keeping the doors open for a very long period of time. So again, in any of our temperature controlled facilities, we want to note that we're keeping the doors closed, we're regulating temperatures in their facility, and we're going to save them money. The other thing we can do is we can actually break this out per day. So if I select this day, specifically 6/19, we are going to see the total number of cycles that they did that day, total open time, their average cycle time on that day, and their median cycle time. The 2 graphs at the bottom are going to show us the total doors open by hour of the day and the total open hours. So what this is going to show us is when do we cycle our doors the most and when do we leave them open the most throughout the day. So we can see their peak activity hours, which might tell us, hey, if we're going to go in there and replace springs or we're going to make any changes on a door, maybe we do it in the afternoons because that specific door is used less in the afternoon than it is in the morning. Our next report here is actually device overview. So this is where we're going to look at every specific door. So same information is going to be on the left with our filters and report type. Across the top is going to be the same cycle count, duration of time open, and our doors. But then what we're looking at here is a bar graph to see which doors are used the most. So we might be able to see which docks are over or underutilized, or which doors are being used more than other ones. If we select the door, again, it's going to show us the specific number of cycles that that's done, and we can see exactly how many times that door has been open and closed within the last, I'll say month and a half is what we've got running right now. So what we want to make sure is that all of our doors are being used as evenly as possible. We want end users' assets to wear down as evenly as possible so that they last as long as they can. This will also help if you have any customers that are saying, hey, why does this door break down all the time? You're always out here replacing springs on this door. Why is it never working? Well, we can go in and say, did you know that you actually are doing this many cycles on this door? Did you know you're using that door 4 times more than you're using any other door in the facility? So now what we can do is justify the bigger springs we're putting on doors, heavier hardware, rollers, all that kind of equipment, as well as the motors that we're putting on the doors themselves. The other thing we can do with this information is be more preventative. So we can say, on average, you are doing X number of cycles per month on this door. One of our customers up in Minneapolis has a garbage door that has a garbage dump behind it, and that door does 3 to 4 times more cycles than all the other doors in their entire facility. They run about 800 to 900 cycles per month, and what they might say is, hey, we've got a 10,000 cycle spring. It was installed on January 1st. That spring is probably going to last until about the end of the year, maybe January of next year. Now, we don't need to replace the spring at 10,001 cycles, but we know it's going to be end of life. We know that we're going to be pretty close to when we need to replace it. Let's go ahead and replace that spring before it breaks as opposed to after it breaks when it's reactive, because springs only break on Friday evenings, 5 o'clock or over the weekend. So we can reduce that and get in front of that as much as possible. Next is detailed cycle data. So this is going to show us any of our outliers in our data. So realistically what we're doing with this is we're going to take a look and say, okay, which doors are being used evenly and all the same, and which ones are really way out there. So we might be able to find this door down here is open a long period of time, but they don't actually cycle it that many times throughout the day. So we might be able to pull this out to get better information for our average open time or our average cycles on the actual doors. On the right, this is going to be median hours open and average. So the difference between the two is this is our average, so divided by every day over the report, and our median is going to be a better look at what the doors are actually doing every time they're being used. We got two more reports. The next is dock utilization and then an hourly overview. So dock utilization is really going to show us which docks are being used the most and which ones are not being used enough. So what we're going to look at here is we're going to say, okay, you're only using 4 out of the 7 doors or 7 positions in that facility. You're only using 57% of your docks. How do we utilize all 7 of them so that, again, our assets wear evenly and we make sure that we're using all the doors as evenly as possible? The other thing we can do is say, hey, you're looking to do an expansion on a facility. You might be looking to add a new facility. Do we really need to add more door positions, or is this going to be enough to suffice for the size of that facility? I don't think this is going to be a very heavily utilized graph, but it is there for them to note if they're going to be using that. And then finally what we have is an hourly overview. This is going to be very similar to the graphs that we saw at the beginning, but it's going to be a little bit more detailed, a little more specific for the day. So instead of saying you're open 2.5 hours, we might get information that says that you are open for the total number of minutes or a specific number of minutes. And then again, this is going to be looking at the total number of cycles per day and per hour of the day. So we can say, you know, on average, you guys have your doors open the most at 10 o'clock in the morning. So this is everything that we have on MyCue Business. This is the new software platform that is available for our commercial end users. We can connect any MyCue enabled device, so that is going to be any of our Logic 5 motors. So anything that has been installed within the last couple of years, any of our standard duty products, we can get this connected to as a retrofit solution. So that is what I have on MyCue Business. Next up is going to be Chris Stob going over MyCue on the residential side.
Thank you, Kevin. As Kevin mentioned before, I'm going to be talking today about our MyCue solutions on the residential side, as well as residential updates for our residential garage door openers. I'm Chris Stob, the North American Sales Manager for our residential access solutions. And today I'm going to try to cover all the items that are going to be new and exciting to you guys out there in the world. So to start off, LiftMaster is continuing to be the best of the best in the industry, and to do so, and some of the things that we've done for the past 50 years is our rolling code, which is the best in the best in the industry in terms of radio control technology that allows you to open and close your garage door. We also now have built-in Wi-Fi in almost all of our garage door openers. We have battery backup. We were the first to come out with battery backup in a garage door opener. And we have industry-leading photo eyes in terms of quality and reliability to prevent the garage door from closing and hurting anyone. Some of the other features that we have now built into every one of our openers is our, like I said, industry-leading Security Plus 2.0. This is a tri-band frequency radio range that gives us the best support and the best reliability when it comes to being able to get in and out of your garage. We also have timer to close. One of the neatest features that you'd want to have in your garage door opener is an option to close your garage remotely or automatically when you leave your garage. You want to make sure that your house is closed and locked up, and timer to close can do that. And we can do that with a number of control panels that we sell with our operators, mainly in our Elite Series operator that comes standard in every single control panel. We also have a vacation mode. Vacation mode gives you the opportunity to lock out all the transmitters. So when you're away from your home, no one can use the remotes that may be sitting in your vehicle or outside of your home to be able to lock those out and prevent them from getting in. To simply do this, hold down the lock button and you will see the light turn on in the control panel saying that the remotes are locked out. All of our control panels offer this feature today. We also have a safety light feature. So many of you know already, but I wanted to reiterate this, that every single garage door opener that we manufacture today has the ability to turn on and off your lights when you walk through the photo beams. So our industry-leading photo beams have the ability to turn on lights so you're not walking into a pitch black garage. This is also adjustable with the control panel. And then most recently, and probably the neatest feature that we offer in our garage door openers today, is our MyQ. MyQ allows you to open, close, check status, and as far as receive alerts for when your door is left open, or if you want to know when the door is closing. And we'll talk more about the MyQ a little bit later on in the presentation. Some other things I want to share with you guys today are some different symbols that you'll see, both in this presentation, as well as on the openers and on the cartons that our openers ship in. So the first one is lock capable. We are now selling multiple operators that have the ability to add on a lock. Many of you have tried or installed the 8500 and the 8500W that comes standard with this lock, but we now also sell a couple other operators that give you that lock feature as well. Any operator that has that will have it both on the opener as well as the box. We also have MyQ and Wi-Fi logos. Any operator that has a MyQ built in or the Wi-Fi built in will have the logos both located on the carton as well as the opener. And most recently, a law was passed in California that is forcing the market to have battery backup in every operator. This wonderful law is now in California, and we have put on every one of our battery backup units a symbol that says that this is battery backup and eligible or capable to be compliant in LiftMaster SB 969 California law. Last year we launched a new product called the WLED. This is the first product LiftMaster launched in the industry with the industry-leading LED lighting solution. So the goal of this product was to give the end consumer the best lighting solution in the garage, what we call corner-to-corner lighting. So when you walk into your garage, every corner is lit up and bright so that it's safer and easier to get around your garage. This operator also has Security Plus 2.0, that industry-leading radio. Has MyQ connectivity, Wi-Fi built into every one of these openers. Timer to close, as I mentioned before, which is built into the control panel of the 880 LMW. Also, 3,100 lumens of light, and I'll talk a little bit more about how that is measured and what that means here in a second. And as I mentioned before, this operator is lock capable. So what does WLED mean to the end consumer? Well, first off, probably the most important thing is no need for service calls due to LED radio interference. So many operators out there and many consumers now want to have LED lighting because they're brighter, cleaner, and they last longer and better for the economy, or better for the world. So with this operator, we have it built in. They're custom built LED light bulbs for us, or light arrays for us inside the operator, so you never have to change a light bulb and you don't have to worry about interference. The other neat thing is now you no longer have to supply light bulbs or tell your consumer to buy light bulbs. So built into the operator, the lights are already in it, so no need for light bulbs. It's a safer solution, so you no longer have to climb on a ladder and change light bulbs. The lights will pretty much last the life of the opener, or 3,000 hours, or 30,000 hours. And one other thing to note with this WLED product that launched last year is we are not discontinuing the 8550. This is built on the same platform, so if you look at the 8550 that you know and love today, this is a similar opener. The motor, the main board, everything stays the same. The only difference is we have now added LED lights into the light pods. So a little more about LED lighting for you and what we've researched and tried to build when we built this operator. The first thing is we wanted to make sure it had the most lumens in the industry. And as you can see here, what a lumen is it's the brightness of the light. So a lower lumen would be similar to a holiday light that you have on your holiday lights. Your flash on your iPhone is about 40 lumens. Your lights, typical in your home, your standard 60-watt light bulb is 80 lumens. And your LED lights on your car are about 1,200 lumens. This is 3,100 lumens, so you can picture how bright that is, and I'll show you what it looks like in comparison to the 60-watt light bulb here in a second. The other thing that we looked at when we developed this product is we wanted to make sure that that light was crisp and clear and clean, as well as not blinding. We wanted to make sure it was a good light and a comfortable light for when you walk in your garage. We do that by measuring of Kelvin, and what Kelvin does is the type of color of that light. So our ultimate goal with this product was to be right around where you're at when you walk outside. So we wanted to give you the same brightness that you get when you walk outside. So it's a more of a whiter light instead of you see on the far end there, the blue, which is dusk, versus a candle flame, which is on the red side. We want to be right in that white area. So as you can see in this image here, on the left is your standard 8550 with two 100-watt light bulbs. And on the other side here is the bright corner-to-corner lighting that you get with a WLED. A much better, cleaner picture. You get to see this. This is not a doctored picture. This was actually from one of our dealers sent in showing one of their installs. Next, I'm going to talk about our 8500W. 8500W is a product that came out of improving or expanding on all the benefits that you get with a side mount type operator, similar to our current 8500 that we had for the last 10 years. The 8500W, we took all the features that we've been building into all of our other openers over the years and added it and grew a brand new product, or a big brother, to the 8500. So the first main goal of any jack shaft style opener is space saving. The ultimate goal would be to remove everything away from that ceiling so you can put shelving up there or do any other things that you'd like to do with that upper area above the garage. It's also ultra quiet, so you're removing all the vibration that you get from a typical trolley operator, and now you're moving it to the front wall where that operator is mounted. So it makes it even quieter than your best of the best belt drive operator out there. We also increased the lifting capacity. So the current 8500 today can lift up to 650 pounds. The 8500W can lift 850 pounds. Please note that this is a battery backup operator, and to get that full lifting capacity, the battery has to be installed. The operator does come standard with that battery, and it is packed in the box. Also comes with a new and improved LED light. So the remote light on the 8500 is two incandescent bulbs. This one has built-in LEDs, so very similar to the WLED. You no longer have to include bulbs with the installation or ask the consumer to buy bulbs to install on your light. This comes standard with this light, and I'll show you a picture of it here in a second. We also have Security Plus 2.0 and Wi-Fi built into it. So two radios, again, industry leading, one for connectivity to your phone, the other one for great and reliable range from your remote. And finally, timer to close and door lock. Just like on the WLED, these two features are also standard. Some other improvements that we've done with the 8500W is an improved collar. So this is a slip-resistant single-piece design, a little bit easier to work on or install the operator with than the previous collar that came with the 8500. The other neat feature is it uses the 3/8 square head screws, which is the same screws that are commonly used with your drums, so you don't have to have different tools to work on this operator. We've also added and included this collar in the 8500, so if you're still selling and buying the 8500, standard 8500, without the Wi-Fi and the battery backup, you will get this collar, which is a nice feature. We've also updated the user interface. So the previous 8500 just had learn buttons, and you had to do a little bit different setup than every operator you work on from LiftMaster. This is going to be the same setup as an 8550 or a WLED or any of our other trolley operators. So the learn button plus the up and down arrows. So similar common user interface. And the final thing that we upgraded on the 8500 to the 8500W was the simplified wiring. So real nice wiring channel, so you can slide the wires through the back of the motor into the housing and plug them into the terminals for a nice clean install. Some 8500W classification or application things to know. This operator is only rated for 10 cycles, so again, it's residential use only. This is for standard sectional or sectional high lift doors. A max door height of 14 feet, a max door width of 18 feet, 1-inch torsion bar only, 4 to 6 inch drums, no taper drums over 6, up to 180 square feet is the recommendations, and as I mentioned before, can lift up to an 850 pound door with the battery installed. Here's an example or a picture of the LED light that comes standard with your 8500W. Now this 8500W light is 1500 lumens, so this is comparable to half of what a WLED puts out. The benefit to this light is you can actually add additional lights, or you can add this 827LM accessory to any other MyQ operators. So you can team them up and add additional light inside your garage. Another key benefit about this light, not only does it come with an 8500, but you can also buy these extra and put them in other places inside your home and control them with the app. So the 827LM remote light is capable of working on MyQ apps, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. The next thing I want to mention is our control panel that comes standard in all of our lead operators. As I mentioned before, it is the 880LMW, and the key benefit with this is this has the ability to do all your programming from the ground instead of having to go up on a ladder and hit a learn button. So some of the things that we have built into it are timer to close and the ability to program radios. We also have, for all of your service needs, the ability to go inside the control panel and know more about what's going on with the opener. This is the only control panel in the industry that offers this. To do that, simply hold down the second button on the control panel and the light, and you will get a diagnostic screen. The diagnostic screen can tell you the software version of the control panel, the cycle counts that that opener has gone through, the number of transmitters that are programmed, the number of keypads that are programmed, if it's programmed to a MyQ system, and any past display errors. And this is a picture here that shows the cycle count that's happened on this individual connection. One other thing that I want to note is every one of these coming from the plant now will have a message on there to tell the consumer to connect it to MyQ. This is an additional marketing advertisement for the end consumer to let them know that this is capable of being connected to Wi-Fi. And finally, after going into the setup process, like I said before, you can program it to the MyQ. You can also program it to the program the remotes here. As I mentioned before, there's a new law that was passed in California called California Law SB 969. This legislation was passed because of, unfortunately, a death that took place in California where an individual, a couple individuals, were unable to exit their garage during the forest fires. So the goal of LiftMaster, as always, has been to be the safest and the best quality opener out there. And in doing so, we're going to follow these laws and try to provide a whole lineup of operators that meet the needs of the consumers in the California market. So some of the changes that are going to take place for these operators, we already have the 8500W and the WLED, which already had batteries packed in the box and were already compliant. We are going to go from the 8550W to an 8550 WLB. That will mean that the battery will now be packaged inside the box, which it isn't today. We will also have the 8360 WLB. So the 8360W will no longer be battery optional. It will come standard with the battery. And then the last product that we introduced in March was the 8160WB. The 8160WB is a product that's in addition to all of our other products that we have in the marketplace. This is a battery option for the builder business and some of the entry-level price points out in the marketplace. The battery in all of these solutions will be packaged inside the box. The goal is that every one of these operators that goes out into the field already has the battery, and there is no chance for a battery not to accidentally go out without the opener. The next part of the presentation, I'd like to talk about MyQ and the connectivity piece of our operators. So LiftMaster in the last couple years has launched an app called MyQ. MyQ is an app that allows you, again, to open, close, check status, receive alerts, and even set up some maintenance and some schedules to close your door. Finally, the other thing that MyQ has done is we've added linking partners. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but the goal is we want to make sure that we play with all the other products out there that are in the smart home solution. So a smart home solution, the goal is to have the end consumer, this is a growing industry, we want to make sure we're at the forefront of this. We want to be the best of the best when it comes to a garage door opener solution in the smart home. So today we offer products that can open and close your door. We offer products that can turn on lights, or you can check the status when you're going to bed of your door, as well as outdoor lighting controls. In the future, we'd like to have other pieces of this puzzle as well. To connect a garage door opener to MyQ, there are 3 different ways that you can do this. The first one is every single operator that we have out there that has a Wi-Fi signal is built in with Wi-Fi and needs no additional hardware to connect it to the internet. All you would need is internet in the home. The next solution is for any of the products that we had before we launched Wi-Fi, but have the MyQ solution already built in. This works on a 900 megahertz radio and only needs an additional hardware piece called the 828LM. This is what we call the Internet Gateway. There's a third option, but most people are going away from that and just going to the fourth option. The third option is changing out a wall panel to the 888LM and adding an 828LM. So this is for any of the LiftMaster, Chamberlain, Craftsman, or Rainer operators out there that have MyQ, or do not have MyQ, but have PhotoEyes and are capable of being connected. These are built from 1996 to current and have the purple or red Learn button. The final option is the 821LMB. This is the retrofit solution that allows you to connect a lot of competitive product as well as some of our older product, and now is priced reasonably in the marketplace that you don't even need option 3. Option 4 is actually less expensive. So as I mentioned before, 828, this is our internet gateway. This is how you can connect our commercial operators as well as all of our residential operators that have MyQ. Again, all you have to do is look for that symbol of the MyQ on the opener, and if it doesn't have the Wi-Fi, this is the piece that you need to connect. We also offer another solution called the 819LMB. This is for those folks out there that have MyQ built into the operator and they want to use a product called HomeKit, which is in every Apple product that's sold out in the marketplace. Apple HomeKit is a product that allows you to take any products that are compatible with it and keep it all in one app. The real nice benefit, on top of being all in one app, you also get Siri functionality. So the ability to tell Siri, hey Siri, close my door. This is a product you would need to be able to do that. Again, that is the 819LMB. As I mentioned before, we have the 821LMB. This is the solution that allows you to connect older operators that aren't MyQ, as well as some of the competitive operators. This radio that's built into this is the same as the radio that's built into every one of our universal transmitters. So the compatibility of this is exactly the same as any of the universal transmitters that you guys know and love and use today. So most commonly paired up with any of our old LiftMaster after 1993, so an operator has to have PhotoEyes, all the way up to when we launched MyQ, as well as works on some of our competitive products. One thing to note on this piece, the 821LMB is for one door. If you have multiple doors, you will need additional sensors. This 821LMB is capable of controlling 2 doors. So if you need additional doors past 2, you would need additional 821LMBs. The next product I like to call the Peace of Mind product, the 829LM. This is a great piece that you can put next to your nightstand or at the counter in the kitchen. Great for those detached garage where you cannot see the door, or when you go to bed at night you want to be able to see if the door's closed. This is a garage door monitor or gate monitor. You can also pair it up with any of our gate operators that have MyQ. Has the ability to show you the close or open or the status of the door, as well as the ability to close, and has an adjustable alert. So the adjustable alert, from the factory has it on, so anytime the door opens, you're going to get a beep noise so that you know that that door is open. And if you do not want to know that, you can turn that off. That actually can be turned off so you don't hear the beeping. As I mentioned before, we offer some lighting controls. The first one that you see here on the screen is our light switch. This is a single pole light switch, so if you have multiple light switches hooked up to the same circuit, this will not function. This is a single pole, but it's a great solution, especially for those coach lights. You want to be able to turn on and off, toggle, as well as set up a timer so that it turns on at a specific time. You can do so within our app. We also have the MyQ 825 remote light switch. So plugging this in, plugging a light into the module that you see on the wall there, and then being able to turn on or toggle on and off your lights. And then the final one that I have on the screen here is the 827LM. Again, this is a light that I mentioned that comes standard with the 8500W, but this is a great light that you can add on in addition to the lights that already come standard with an opener. All 3 of these products can be programmed one of 3 ways. The first way to program these is via the MyQ app. So each one of these has a MyQ radio built in, so you can either team it up with an internet gateway or a Wi-Fi opener and use that as your bridge to connect it to the MyQ app. The second way you can connect any of these is via a remote. So you can program it to one of those extra buttons that you have on the remote. If you have a 3-button remote and you only have 1-car garage, you can actually program the additional buttons to turn on lights. The third way is to actually program it right directly to the garage door opener. So when you get home at night, you press the button to open your garage, and automatically one of your lights that you have set up with one of these items will automatically turn on the light in your house. We also have these available to program to your LiftMaster L5 operators. We call it a courtesy light, so if you program it to an L5, it acts very similar to the residential operator, like I just said before, on how you can program it to the radio. So when you hit a go button and you open a door on a commercial operator, you'd also could turn on a light inside a warehouse. One of the other things that I mentioned that we want to do at LiftMaster is we want to also work with other partners out there to make sure that we are at the forefront of the connectivity space. To do so, we have partnerships, and you can visit www.myq.com/workswithmyq to visit and see which partners we work with today. This is ever changing, but today we work with great partners like Google, Apple HomeKit, Wink, Total Control, IFTTT, Eve, and Alpine. And you can go on to this website and see all of the partners that we work with today. Also, to increase awareness for your customers when you're installing products, you're going to see more and more MyQ splashed around the garage door and garage door opener. One of the first things you'll notice is we added a hang tag that will be attached to the rope of the release handle. That will come in every single one of our MyQ Wi-Fi enabled openers. We'll also put stickers on the control panels. This is in efforts of helping your customers know whether or not the operator is capable of being connected or not. And you'll start seeing those come in your operator boxes here in the next couple months. The next piece is a really neat piece that we created that is basically a digital sticker. So today, many dealers, when they're doing installs or servicing operators, they will put a sticker on the door or near the control panel so that when the end consumer has or needs service work, they have a sticker to go and figure out who to call. Instead of having to go online and try to find someone, they have it right there. All the manufacturers and all the different service companies use these today. We are now building it inside the app. The ultimate goal will be when the consumer has an issue, they will be able to go inside their app and find who to call. And at the time of install or the time of service, we hope that the dealers will use this great tool. It's called My Dealer, and right built into any connected opener, there will be a My Dealer option in the setup. And inside there, every dealer will be able to put their dealer name, the dealer phone number, and then we have specific dealer IDs that we've given out to all of our customers. The last thing I want to talk about today is our new partnership with Amazon Key. One of the biggest challenges out there in the marketplace today is the fact that we have many packages that are being damaged or lost during delivery. The ultimate goal for LiftMaster and the teaming up of Amazon is to help prevent that. And the goal will be to get the packages delivered right into the garage instead of delivered to the front steps. To do so, you'd have to check to see if your product is capable of working with this. Any of our garage door openers that are connected to MyQ would be able to work on this program or on this platform. The availability of Key, so every Amazon Prime member has this available to them for free. All they have to do is have a MyQ opener and have an Amazon Prime account. To check to see, there are 50 markets today that are capable of getting this service. To check and see, visit www.myq.com/keybyamazon-ready, and you can check your zip code to see if you're eligible for in-garage delivery. Again, to do that, you would also need to download 2 apps. So if you are eligible for in-garage delivery, you would need the MyQ app and then the Amazon Key app. The linking of these will allow you to, when you check out, and I'll show you here in a second, when you check out of your purchase in your cart online for your Amazon delivery, you can select and get your products delivered inside your garage. Again, as I mentioned before, this is for Prime members only, so this is only if you are an Amazon Prime member. And finally, the hardware that you would need would have to be a connected garage door opener using MyQ. As I mentioned before, the easy ways to do that are either a Wi-Fi garage door opener, a MyQ opener with an 828 or any of our competitive operators and older operators using a hub, which we called the 821 LMB, to connect it to the MyQ solution. One other thing to note, many customers want to be able to see that delivery take place. Amazon does sell a camera so that you can watch the in-garage delivery, and you can buy that at Amazon.com. It's called the Amazon Cloud Cam. So right now I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm going to play a little video here so you can see how Amazon works.
Allowing in-garage delivery, monitoring, and remote access within the Amazon Key app. You can rest easy knowing that both your packages and your home are safe and secure. Prime members with MyQ compatible garage door openers can opt into getting Amazon packages delivered right inside their garage. Amazon will authorize the delivery and securely open your garage door. You'll get a notification once your package is delivered and your garage is closed.
So that's how the that's an Amazon video for you guys. You can see that at myq.com as well. Also want to show you how the user interface works for the shopper, so the end consumer as they're buying, as well as the delivery experience. So you can see how it takes place on the phone and as well as the driver's product. So as you see here, I'm an end consumer. I'm going to go do some shopping. I'm going to buy this liner for my pet to make sure I get all the hair off my seats. I'm going to add this to my cart. You will notice that since I've linked my MyQ and my Amazon key, you will see key for delivery is selected. I will select the address that I want it delivered to. It is eligible, so that's something to notice. I will pay for that. Again, this is a free service. Place my order here, and the order is placed, and now it is scheduled for in-garage delivery. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like for the actual delivery. So I'm going to show a side-by-side screenshot of what the customer will see when they get their delivery, as well as what the driver will experience as they're doing the delivery. So on the left side of the screen, you see the customer, and they just got a notification that their package will be delivered tomorrow inside the garage. And if they want to check on that, they can go inside the Amazon Key app at any time and check the status of that delivery. 24 hours later, it's about time to get that package. Now they're receiving the notification that the package will be delivered inside the garage. Meanwhile, the Amazon driver is en route to the homeowner to deliver the package. Once they're ready to be routed to the homeowner's home, they will get a GPS that will follow them. Once they get in range to the homeowner's home, the homeowner will get a notification telling them that they're about to get their package delivered. When the driver arrives, that will open up the ability to actually deliver the package and scan the package. The scanning of the package is actually how a signal goes to the opener to open it. Once it's scanned, the garage door opens. Door is opened. The Amazon delivery driver, and only an Amazon delivery driver, will drop off the package. They will also take a picture and upload it so that you can see the delivery and where it was delivered. After that is done, the door will close, and the homeowner, as you'll see on the left, receives a notification that the package has been delivered. If they have a camera, they can actually watch this whole thing take place. Package was delivered. The driver is now left. The driver no longer has access to the garage. They only had one opportunity to get in, and that's by scanning the package. And all of that is backed by the Amazon Happiness Guarantee. So if there is any issue or problem that takes place, Amazon will support the fixing of or making the solution right. And that's it. And that's all I had on MyCue today. Thank you so much. We have some questions.
Yes, we do.
Wonderful.
Is MyQ compatible with Amazon Echo?
Great question. Yep.
Another question.
Yep.
The third part is, are the commands only to close the door?
Yes. Okay. So the question was, for everyone in the audience and on the screen, is MyQ compatible with Google Assistant as well as Amazon's Alexa Assistant? And then finally, is the product close? What commands can you do with it? Yes. So we are compatible with Google Assistant, as you saw with the Works With screen. I'll show you here. This one right here is, this one on the screen here is Google Assistant. So we are compatible with that. When we first launched, there was a charge for that. We no longer charge for that. It is a free linking, so you're capable of linking. In terms of Amazon Alexa, we currently only work with Amazon Alexa through IFTT, and there is an easy way to do that, and we can walk you through that if you're interested in that. The functionality today is for security. We only close the door. We do not allow the opening of the door so that someone could yell from outside and talk to an assistant that's sitting on your counter or next to your bed and say, open the door, and now you have free access to the home. So today, we are only closing the door or asking for status of the door. So we can ask Google Assistant or Alexa, what is the status? Again, Alexa is only done through IFTT. We are working with Amazon to try to get that added into the Alexa skill, but it is not available yet, unless you go through IFTT. Any other questions? Perfect. Well, I want to thank everyone on behalf of Kevin and myself for listening. If you guys have any questions, please funnel them through our wonderful partners at ServiceSpring, and we'll be happy to answer them anytime. Thank you and have a great day.